Hi dear friends, in this session we are going to discuss about solution of an LP problem using two-phase simplex method. Coming to the learning objectives, after this session you should be able to understand framework of the two-phase method, solve an LP problem using two-phase method. Coming to the two-phase simplex method, linear programming problems having the constraints as greater than or equal signs can also be solved in two phases. In the previous session, we discussed about big M simplex method. Two-phase simplex method is an alternative method for the big M method. LPP is having the constraints of greater than or equal signs, of course including lesser than or equal type, can also be solved in the two phases. In the first phase, artificial variables are eliminated from the simplex table, and in the second phase, using the solution obtained in the first phase, optimal solution is obtained. Since the optimal solution is obtained in two phases, the method is known as two-phase simplex method. Let us take a worked example to solve an LPP using the two-phase simplex method. Using two-phase simplex method, solve zmin equals to 3x1 plus 2x2 plus 4x3 subject to 2x1 plus x2 plus 3x3 is equals to 60, x1 plus 3x2 plus 5x3 is greater than or equal to 120. Of course, x1, x2, x3 greater than or equal to 0. Now, before going to the solution part, let us see the objective function. Please note the objective is minimization here. Zmin, it is not Zmax. So, you are supposed to convert Zmin to Zmax, which is the standard form always. So, to apply the simplex method or big M method or two-phase method, very first thing that you have to check is whether the objective function is in standard form or not. Standard form means maximization form. So, if it is in minimization form, you have to multiply every coefficient with minus sign. For example, minus 3, minus 2 it will become minus 4. Okay. And there are two constraints. One is 2x1 plus x2 plus 3x3 equals to 60 is equals to 60, and one more is greater than or equal to 120. Now coming to the solution. So we are going to use the two-phase method. So coming to the first phase, write the auxiliary LPP. Let us see what is auxiliary LPP. So which is the one in which the objective function is with 0 coefficients for the basic slack variables and minus 1 for the artificial variables. Okay. So now, so you'll be having basic variables. How many basic variables you have? 1, 2, 3. x1, x2, x3 are the basic variables. Okay. So slack variables, you will not get the slack variables in this case. Fine. So why? Because okay, if the constraint was of less than or equal type, then only, so normally you will get the slack variables, no. But here it is greater than or equal and equal. So only artificial variables will get. Fine. However, it is the general form of phase 1. That is, while writing the auxiliary LPP or while framing the auxiliary LPP, so you are supposed to write the objective function, of course, in the standard form with all 0 coefficients. With all 0 coefficients, whether it is basic variable, slack variable, of course, surplus variable we are not going to consider, you please note. Only basic, slack. For basic and slack, you are supposed to use the 0 coefficients and minus 1 for the artificial variables. Okay. And of course, you have to convert the constraints into the equations. Okay, so that you will come to know what are all the slack variables or artificial variables and all. No, first before going to write the auxiliary LPP, okay, so let us convert the constraints into the equations. Fine, 2x1 plus x2 plus 3x3 plus a1. When it is exactly equation, to get the identity basis, as we discussed in the previous session, we add only artificial variable. Fine. Now it is greater than or equal to 120. When something is greater than means, so to make it equation or to convert that into equation, something is to be subtracted, hence minus s1. What is this s1? Surplus variable. So once if you subtract something, you have to add an artificial variable to maintain the identity. So in that process, so x1 plus 3x2 plus 5x3 minus s1 plus a2 is equals to 120. So where a1 and a2 are the artificial variables, s1 is the surplus variable. There is no slack variable at all. Now, so as per this statement, that is write the auxiliary LPP. So auxiliary LPP will be Z max equals to, of course here, so whether it is minimization or maximization, as all are zeros, okay, it will be 0 only, 0 x1, because what it says, so 0 coefficients for the basic slack variables and minus 1 coefficient for the artificial variables, 0 x1, 0 x2 plus 0 x3 plus 0 s1 minus a1 and minus a2. Fine. Now let us come to the simplex table 1. So this is the standard form of the objective function, or given form, z min equals to 3x1 plus 2x2, okay, plus 4x3, fine, such that are subject to the constraints. So coming to the simplex table 1, basis, okay. So in the basis, always you have to add only the slack and artificial variables, as we discussed. Okay, so there are no slack variables, hence only artificial variables will appear. Surplus variable you are not supposed to write in the basis, you please note, because it will be having a negative coefficient in general. Okay, CB x1, x2, x3, that is CB means, so coefficient of the basis, x1, x2, x3, they are the basic variables. Surplus variable, artificial variable, B is the RHS. Up to here out this one. Okay, it's like template. Fine, basis. In the basis column, you please note that always you have to write only the slack and artificial variables. You are not supposed to write the surplus variables even if you have. Okay, so A1 and A2. CB, coefficients of the basis, like, fine, or basis coefficients, minus 1, x1, x2, x3. So you have to take the equation. Okay, you have to take the equation, that's constraints. So this is 2, 1, 3, no? 2, 1, 3. So fine, S1, it is 0, okay, 1, 0, so 0, 1, see, you will get the identity matrix, 1, 0, 0, 1, hence, okay, you normally use the artificial variables. B is RHS, so first RHS 60, so this is 120, fine. So this, okay, last column we'll discuss later. CJ means they are the coefficients of the auxiliary LPP. You recall the auxiliary LPP, that is in the previous, this one, all zeros, no? x1, x2, x3 zeros, s1, okay, let us use those, fine. So what we'll get, let us see, 0, 0, 0, 0, for s1 also 0, and for artificial variables, minus 1 and minus 1. So you have to refer the auxiliary LPP and you have to write the coefficients of the auxiliary LPP, that is nothing but CJ. You know how to compute ZJ. So for example, if you want to compute ZJ here, it's as usual, this into this plus this into this. This 3 into minus 3 plus 2 into minus 1 minus 5. So like this you have to compute or calculate for all, okay, ZJ, this into this, all that, fine. So now CJ minus ZJ, 5, 4, minus 8, okay, 0 of minus 8, that is plus 8 it will become, fine. Now out of all these, which is the highest, okay, so now it is not optimal because all Cj minus Zj should be greater than, should be less than or equal to 0, no? It's not so, hence the solution is not at optimum or not at optimal. Okay, what to do? Out of all these positive values, the highest positive is 8. So hence this becomes PC. PC stands for pivotal column. So once if you get pivotal column, so the last column we will get it theta, that is ratio generally B divided by PC, B divided by PC. This divided by 60 divided by 3, 20, 120 divided by 524, like that. Okay, you will get it only for the equation part. Okay, now this is PR. The intersection element of this PC and PR no is called the pivot element. Pivot element is 3 here. Fine. Now the variable corresponding to this PR is leaving variable. I mean in the next simplex table, so this will leave. This artificial variable will leave. And coming to the entry variable, no, when A1 leaves the matrix, so some variable should occupy, no, should enter, hence x3. Okay, x3 is the entry variable it will become. Okay, why? Because always, okay, please note that the variable corresponding to PC is the entry variable, the variable corresponding to PR is the leaving variable. Okay, now we have to move to the simplex table. Why you have to move to the simplex table 2? Because all Cj minus Zj are not lesser than or equal to 0. Hence you have to proceed to the simplex table 2. So while proceeding from simplex table 1 to simplex table 2, so as usual you have to remember 3 things. So pivot element you have to keep it as unity or 1. How to keep this as 1 or unity? So from where to where the equation part, this to this one. So you have to divide all the elements of this particular row by the pivot element, because it's not 1, no. So if you divide by 3, no, 3 by 3 it will become 1. Pivot element will become 1. This is 2 by 3, 1 by 3, 3 by 3, 0 by 3, 1 by 3, 0 by 3, 0, 60 by 3. You are not supposed to divide this. Fine. So that is ratio. So that will discuss in the simplex table 2. Fine. Now simplex table 2 it is. Basis. Basis is artificial variable A1, no, it will leave. So in that place x3 will occupy. X3 have written, and again the coefficient of x3, no, in the auxiliary LPP. So we are discussing about pace 1. Pace 1 auxiliary LPP how to take 0. Fine. Now so this is 1. Okay, which one is 1? See, x3. This has been made as 1. In that process this became 1 by 3, because from here to here all the elements are being divided by the pivot element to make the pivot element 1 or unity. This one, see, 2 by 3, 1 by 3, 1, 0, 0, 20 and so on. So now other elements of pivot element you have to make 0. Other elements in the sense, so now this is pivot column, no, the previous this one. So this you have to keep it as 1, that you kept it 1, and other elements means coming to the matrix portion only this element. Okay, this element you have made it 0, this one. How to make it 0 means by using the suitable row operations. For example, this is this one, no, first row. You have to operate this row with this row. Either you can take this as reference or this as reference. Somehow you have to make or nullify this element 0. Okay. So in that process, not only this one, no. So the row operation you have to employ or use from here to here. That is the second row. You have to operate the entire row, not only this particular element. In that process, so this is minus 1 by 3, it will become 4 by 3. So 0, minus 1, 1. Okay, somehow, okay, you have to make this 0, no. So there are many ways to make it 0. This you have made it 1 means, so for example, R1 minus this one you can take. R1, this new R1 minus 5 times of this one. Okay, or what you can say is 5 times of this one minus R2, because you have to make this 0 means, so this is 1, no, this is 5. How to operate these two to make it 0? 5 minus, that is R2 minus, here it became 1, no, 5 times of R1, so will give you 0 here. So using that, so you got this one. Fine. So here you can check it, this one 120 is there, no, 120 minus something like same operation. If you do it, you are going to get 20 here. Now what is your observation? See, the CG will be same, 0, 0, 0, 0, minus 1. Zj will change. Why Zj will change? Because this is changed, no? So Zj will change again. So how to compute the Zj? This into this plus this into this. Okay, corresponding to this, no? This into this plus this into this. That is summation of CB into xi, I can say. Xi means x1, x2, x3 and so on. Okay, zj. So now what is your observation? Cj minus zj you calculate, minus 1 by 3, 4 by 3, 0, minus 1, 0. So this is PC. Why? So all Cj minus Zj are not lesser than or equal to 0, still have one positive value, that will become pivotal column. So once if you identify the pivot column, so theta you can obtain. What is theta? B divided by pivotal elements, pivotal column elements I mean. 20 divided by 1 by 3, it will become 60. 20 divided by 4 by 3, 20 into 3, 60 by 4, that is 15. Okay. So how we are getting this one? This divided by, this is the formula, B divided by PC. Fine. So this becomes PR. How this will become PR? Here also. So here it's 20, it's 24. No, least positive value no of this theta will become the PR. Here also 60 and 15, which is least positive. This is 15. No, hence this becomes the PR. So now we have identified PC. PC is always corresponding to highest positive value of Cj minus Zj. PR corresponds to the least positive value of theta. Fine. Now the intersection element of these two, no, that is PC and PR, is called PE. What is PE? Pivotal element. Pivotal element. So of course the variable corresponding to PR is LV. LV means leaving variable. I mean in the next table. Why you have to go to the next table? Because all Cj minus Zj are not lesser than or equal to 0. You have to go to the next table. While going to the next table, that is from one simplex table to another simplex table, three things you have to remember. What is that? You have to replace LV with EV. Fine. That is from the previous table. Okay. Then second one, you have to keep the pivot element as 1 and other elements are pivot column. For example, here no, the matrix portion is this and this. So you have to nullify or make it 0. So in that process, so in the next simplex table, that is simplex table 3, A2 should be replaced with X2. That's okay. That is one thing. And how to make this as 1? You have to divide this by 4 by 3 itself, same element. Or you have to multiply this by 3 by 4, I can say. Hence this will become 1. So not only this element, okay, the entire row, no? Row means from here to here, that is equation portion up to B. B is nothing but RHS, no? Right from x1 to this one, you have to do the same thing. Like, okay, you are multiplying this by 3 by 4 to make it 1 means you have to multiply this also. You are not supposed to multiply the CB. CB is not part of the equation, it is a coefficient. So minus 1 by 3 into 3 by 4. So 0 into something, minus 1 into like that, okay, till here. Okay. So let us see the simplex table 3 now. So again, this is basis, revised basis, what I can say, A2 is being replaced with this one, x3, CB, x1, x2, x3, S1 and B. Okay, please note that once, okay, if the artificial variable is removed, here A1 is removed, no? So hence A1 you are not seeing here, only A2 you are seeing. Here A1 and A2 both are there. Here as it is eliminated, that is about phase 1. So what is the phase 1 simplex method or in two-phase method? Phase 1 what it will do is, it will eliminate the artificial variables. See, one variable is eliminated, has been removed or eliminated. Here now it is going out. Okay, once okay, it goes out, you are not supposed to write here also. Okay, A2 why you have written? A2 was there, that's why you have written here. Now A1 and A2 both are eliminated. Okay, so this is simplex table 3. So which was the pivot element? Pivot element you have to keep it as 1, no? This one. Okay, that is under x2. Just see here, under x2, what was the element? This one. Fine. This you have make it, or you have made it 0. Other elements of pivot column means only one element. By suitable row operations, you have to make this 0. Please note that no, you are not required to use one particular row operation. Row operations need not be unique. Only thing is you have to operate this and this. I mean, so old matrix you can take reference. This and this you have to operate. Somehow to make this as 0. Either you can keep this as 1 and you can operate, or before making it 1 itself, you can operate. Somehow this position you have to make it 0. Okay. So in that process, the row operation, whatever is applied for to nullify this or to make it 0, so it should be applicable from here to here. In that process, the values will change. That's what has happened here. Fine. So up to B. Now Cj, no? Cj will be, so x1 is 0, x2 is 0, x3 is 0, S1 is 0. A1 and A2 are eliminated, hence they have not appeared in the column. Zj, as all Cj's are 0, so Zj by default it will be 0 only. Cj minus Zj, it will be 0. So what is your observation now? All Cj minus Zj are lesser than or equal to 0. Hence you can conclude pace 1 because all Cj minus Zj are lesser than or equal to 0. So let us see the comment. As all Cj minus Zj values are lesser than or equal to 0, so it is a basic feasible solution, we can say, or it is optimal of pace 1. Pace 1 is optimal. Hence, you can move to the second pace. You have to confirm. So all Cj minus Zj should be less than or equal to 0. So hence you can confirm to, or you can move to second pace, that is pace 2. Sometimes what may happen is, it's very rare, so you may not get all Cj minus Zj, okay, you will get 0 less than or equal to 0. Still some artificial variable may exist here. It's very rare, as I am telling. So still some artificial variable may exist. Don't think that all the artificial variables should be eliminated. But if it takes the negative value of RHS, that is B is RHS, no, then even if the artificial variable exists also, it's not a problem. We can move to a second pace. But in this case, it's not so. Both the artificial variables have been eliminated and Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0 also. So I'll repeat what I told. Sometimes Cj minus Zj may be less than or equal to 0, but so an artificial variable may exist here. For example, it is A2, let us say. A2, but it is minus 15, let us say. So A2 is taking minus value, so which is not having any meaning, hence you can proceed to second pace. In this case, both the artificial variables have been eliminated and Cj minus Zj also less than or equal to 0, hence you can proceed to second pace. Now coming to the second pace, you have to rewrite the objective function with the actual coefficients. See, that was like virtual or auxiliary LPP. Pace 1 was virtual or auxiliary LPP. Now we are supposed to rewrite the objective function with actual coefficients to the decision variables, 0 coefficients to the slack variables and surplus variables. You please note. So actual for the decision variables, decision means x1, x2 and so on. 0 coefficients for other variables, that is slack and surplus variables. So now artificial variables will not come into the picture. They have been eliminated, no. Only you will be having basic variables, and if at all if you have slack and surplus variables. Artificial variables are not in the picture now. Now consider the final simplex table of the pace 1 with the actual coefficients. Okay. Now whatever you have concluded, no, this simplex table 3 or final simplex table, what I can say, will become the initial simplex table in the pace 2. Initial, wherever you have concluded, all Cj minus Zj is less than or equal to 0, that is final simplex table of pace 1, no, will become the first simplex table in the pace 2. What I mean, consider the final simplex table of pace 1 with the actual coefficients. Okay, if you write the actual objective function, it will be minus 3x1, minus 2x2, minus 4x3. Why it is minus? So in the beginning itself I told the standard form is maximization, as it was given to minimize Z min. So I multiplied with minus sign, that's all, minus 1, fine. And what is given here, slack and surplus. There are no slack variables because there is no constraint with less than or equal type. Slack variables will not come into the picture. However, okay, in general it is given here, 0 coefficient to slack and surplus variable. Surplus variable exists, okay. So 0, S1, like, that's what is given. Rewrite the objective function with actual coefficients of the basic variables, 0 coefficients for slack and surplus variables. So though why minus means it is not in the standard form, it is actual only. Actual coefficient is 3, but to put in the standard form, multiplied by minus, nothing else. Now what to do is, so now this is the basis. Same thing, wherever, okay, you have concluded, okay, as the final simplex table of pace 1, same thing, x3, x2. Where is this x3, x2? Let us see here, x3, x2. But in simplex table 3 of pace 1, so from the auxiliary or virtual LPP, so 0, 0 are the coefficients. Now actual LPP have written, okay, with actual coefficients are so, hence, see, minus 4, minus 2 you will get. What are this minus 4 and minus 3? x3 coefficient, no, minus 4. x2 coefficient, minus 2. x2 coefficient, minus 2. The coefficients you have taken from here. And all these values you can refer, they are same, right from x1 to b, x1 to b, same. Okay, same table we have taken without any variations except these coefficients, fine. Now of course Cj values will change. Cj, when Cj changes, Zj also will change. Cj minus Zj also will change. Why Cj will change? So in this case Cj was virtual, like all zeros, fine, auxiliary LPP. Now we have the real LPP or LPP with actual coefficients. So hence, what are all the changes here is coefficients of Cb, because actual coefficients you have to take. Then Cj coefficients will change. What is the Cj means? Minus 3, coefficient of x1 is minus 3, minus 2, minus 4, and s1. No question of using artificial variables, they are not in the picture now, 0. Fine. Zj, what is Zj? This into this plus this into this. Corresponding to this, you will get Zj here, and corresponding to this, now this into this plus this into this, and so on, you will get Zj for this. Now, what is your observation? Cj minus Zj, minus 3 plus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 means 2 and half. Minus 3 plus 2 and half. Okay, that is minus 1 and half. Like that, minus 2 plus 2, it is 0. Minus 4 plus 4, 0. 0 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. So what is your observation in phase 2? So in the first simplex table itself, so all Cj minus Zj are lesser than or equal to 0. Are lesser than or equal to 0. Hence, the solution is optimal or optimum, you can say. Since all Cj minus Zj values are less than or equal to 0, the solution is optimal. So with, of course, x3 is equal to 15, x2 is equals to 15, and whichever has not appeared in the basis, no, totally you had 3 basic variables, no, we have 3 basic variables. X1 has not appeared, before that itself you have got the optimality, hence x1 is 0, x1 is 0, and Z max, no, if you substitute the values of this one, of course here itself will get, okay, if we calculate, or if you substitute x3 and x2, x1 as 0, x2 as 15, and x3 as 15, so you will get what? So 90. Z min, no, Z min is minus Z max, what I can say. So minus 90 you will get. Okay, so these are the values, x3 value, x2 value, and x1 value. So that's all about this two-phase simplex method, what I can say. Fine. Now coming to the learning objectives. So I am very sure that okay, I have met with the learning objectives of this session. Understanding framework of the two-phase method, that is what is phase 1, what you will do. That is, okay, we will write virtual or auxiliary LPP with all zeros as the coefficients except for artificial variables. Then solve an LPP, that is linear programming problem, using two-phase method. So what is this two-phase method is, whenever the constant is of greater than or equal or equal signs, so then like big M method, you have one more method to solve such LPPs. So two-phase method is one such method, that is artificial variables are eliminated in the first phase, and using the solution obtained in the first phase, that is in the last simplex table, optimal solution will be obtained. So because optimal solution is obtained in 2 different phases, this method is known as two-phase simplex method. Fine. So this is the simplex table 1, simplex table 2. Same, it is nothing but simplex, typically simplex table or big M method only. So concept is different. We are going to give the solution or obtain the optimal solution in 2 phases. Fine. Simplex table 1, 2, then 3. Once if you get all Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0, so you can say you have got the optimal or basic feasible solution. Hence you can move to second phase. Second phase will be the final phase of the simplex table, when the previous simplex table, or phase 1, what I can say, but actual coefficients will come into the picture here. Fine. So once okay, if you get it, x3 you can write, x2 you can write, then finally x1 has not appeared, x1. Once okay, if you get x1, x2, so substitute the values in the original LPP, you will get Z max or Z min, whatever it is. Fine. So once again I take this opportunity to thank you one and all for your patient listening. Take care and have a nice time. We'll meet in the next session.